Living in my skin, I have never really experienced overt acts of racism. And when I married, that's when I came to know racism, and it reared its ugly head. And I was then part and parcel a victim because of my marriage to a First Nations man. And it also made me fear for my children. So this has made me a staunch activist, anti-racist activist. There are many acts of racism I could talk about. From day to day racism, where I see in a supermarket, by rights of my privilege, I might be accorded a better place in a line than someone who is of a visible minority. And I've had to stand up and say, no, this lady was ahead of me, please serve her first. I've seen systemic racism, regardless of a person's wealth or status in society, how they are constantly branded by their culture. So going golfing, my husband's uncle was unable to procure a golf cart, of all things, because the manager did not accept the validity of his MasterCard. And this man was a professional man working for the government, but he was, of course, First Nation. So this gave the owner of the golf course the right to disallow this man from paying and playing the game. And I had to go in afterwards. I, of course, rented the golf cart myself, but in the end, I let the man know that that would be our last visit to the golf course, and that I would tell others as well that the golf course was had racist practices. So these kinds of things have made me extremely aware to racism, and so I find my role in the school as an educator of students to be champions against racism. And we champion this group in our school division called ACT, which is an anti-racist cross-cultural team that teaches students leadership techniques to stand up against racism in all its forms. I think a strong motivator is the idea of inclusion. We are in our own school community and in our larger community. We live side by side with people of different religions and cultural backgrounds, and the richness is lost if we don't try to reach out and build a bridge to understanding. So I think with my students, I try to get them to experience cultural diversity and celebrate cultural diversity. And it has had extreme success in our school and in our larger community. We hold diversity celebrations yearly, and students come from everywhere to participate and to celebrate their own culture as well as the cultures of others.